not. No. That wouldn't be skillful. It wouldn't be appropriate to the situation. It wouldn't be appropriate to the relationship, perhaps. It might scare the other person or make them think you're weird. Or I've done this mistake enough, so that I should hopefully know. But one thing I do want to point out is that when you are aware of these different pressures to be in these different fields all in the same moment, that's definitely, you're in the third field. Because if you're not, that is too complex of an awareness. Or when we talk about the action logics or the levels of development in the upper quadrants, just within ourselves, like often, the one that corresponded with field 1 is the diplomat. So often we're experiencing diplomat in ourselves, or we're experiencing, in this conversation, the lower field. But if I'm witnessing the diplomat in myself, I'm not in the diplomat like really. That's not, it's just, it's an object in my awareness. And it's real, and I'm embodying it, but at the same time I'm witnessing it. And so it's not the same as someone who's really in the diplomat action logic, or as someone who's really in that field, if you're aware of these forces at the same time.
Maybe you can distinguish it by not referring to it as being polite, but taking responsibility for the context of what you are going to do in the situation.
Yeah.
Maybe my question is much more practical. But I understand what you're saying, like I agree.
Isn't that transcending and including?
But it's a different diplomat in ourselves than in, say, a person in high school that really is a diplomat, and they really are just trying to fit in. And we all do the same thing as them sometimes, but we're often witnessing it as we're doing it, so it's a bit different.
Well, maybe my question was, does the system offer you tools to deal with those kind of situations, or what exactly do you think is the added value of of the system explaining to us?
Yeah? I like that. It's a little more edgy. What's the point of all this? And so, I mean, one of my responses is, let's figure that out and decide this for ourselves. Perhaps we will together determine that this is a useless waste of time. I'm totally open to that, and in which case, at the next seminar I teach, I'm not going to teach this because it's not useful, and I want to be useful. No.
There must be a reason why I'm...
Yeah. Well, I think, and the feedback I've gotten so far is that it is useful. And I'd be happy to talk more with you about the value added. But
I'm really not
questioning that. No, but what I mean is I was more hearing you challenge yourself too. Is what's the value added of my awareness? And I think there's huge value added of being aware of more complexity, more of what's going on in ourselves, because then we have choice. We have more freedom.
Maybe that takes time then, that first you are aware, and then maybe it takes time before you can also intervene.
And that is one of the big value propositions that I propose that this material offers us, is that we can be more conscious witnesses of the group dynamics, and therefore more conscious and more powerful participants in group dynamics. Because we've all been in groups all our life, and by being aware of this, we can start to see where we are. So I'm mixing up these quadrants, but if we imagine this as the other quadrant, we can see we can see we're in this field or this field, and then we have a way out. So there's the possibility for more freedom and more fullness in our life, because we're more conscious participants in the continuum emergence of our lives. So we really should keep going, but yes, or go ahead, because you haven't asked.
Do any example of your conversation with Clint that you say, I don't care about what you think about me.
Yeah.
And you said, well, my direction was from field 3, but you can hear it from field 2. So when I am acting in field 3, but my my whole surrounding is actually field 2. If I say
Yeah.
field 3, will they come with me or whatever?
I love that question. I've been thinking lots about that. I think it's intuitive and I don't know how to explain it very well yet. But I think that if you're in field 3, well, one, it has to do with numbers. If it's like 100,000 people, it's going to be really hard. But smaller, the less overwhelmed in terms of just numbers, the more chance you have. But also, it's who's more strongly radiating or pushing, like, it feels like I can push out my way of being. I know that sounds weird, but, in romantic relationships, this for sure happens, is one person, like, they upset and they want to argue, and sometimes you get pulled down to them. And sometimes you don't. You just see them and you see they just need to be loved, and you just listen to them. And so the place that you're coming from in yourself is stronger than than how deeply stuck they are in their place, and so they get pulled to you. If how deeply stuck they are in their place is more than you're in your place, then you'll get pulled to them. And so I'm so curious, I'm in this question myself about, because I can feel sometimes I'm pulled up or down to other people, and sometimes, or across, and sometimes I pull them. And as a good leader of workshops like, as an aspiring, wanting to be a good leader of workshops like this, I need to be a strong magnet that through my way of being, I make the whole field that way as much as possible. So that's a very interesting question for me. But we really need to move on. So, that's not it. So what we're going to do now is we're going to have a short break. You're going to go outside.